Hey, this is the artist one. Johnny Rotten and the Sex Pistols claims Trump is the only sensible choice in the U.S. election. And I was just talking about, that's why I'm doing this video, another video. I was just talking about the aspect of musicians not really writing protest songs anymore. They've come to the delusion of being enslaved. They just have they have the ultimate in Stockholm syndrome. You know, they've been following the Democrats for so many years. None of them have done anything for them. This past year has been a total disgustive shit show, and there's no shows that are even being able to be produced to produce shit. And then I just read that a buddy of mine, this guy right here, Tony, he used to have Tony V's. I guess he still has the place. I guess he shut it down or something. But this guy's been, man, if it wasn't for him, and actually if it wasn't for him, music would be dead pretty much north of Seattle. And even in Seattle, because it's guys like this that put everything on the line and for music, you know, dealing with bands and, you know, all the issues that are involved, having to have a bar and all the issues that are involved with having a bar, dealing with the city, especially the city of Everett, which he was at. He bought the location that was next to him that was known as Jimmy Z's forever. Many, many bands played that little club. And that club had gone through different owners. He finally took it over after having a kind of a dive bar. But he had a cool place. I mean, he loved music. He loved, and he loved the music of like Johnny Rotten. And I believe Johnny Rotten and the guys from Sex Pistols have actually played in his club. So it's amazing why, and I commend this guy. I don't know what he's done for the past 20 some years or more, and I know he's always been very vocal on and very opinionated on many, many different things. But that's the essence. I mean, at least he never gave up the essence of a fight and understanding that rock and roll was about keeping kind of things in line, you know, never allowing one side of the aisle to gain more power and control, and always kind of keeping his foot up the ass of the man, so to speak. So when he said this, it's kind of like, I know people are going to go, oh, you supporting Trump? No, what he's trying to say is, look at all the years that these Democrats have supposedly been on your side, and what have they done? They've destroyed everything. They destroyed everything. It was the Democrat Party that really supported Napster, and they didn't do jack diddly squat for you during the time when all the money was being taken from you. Look at now recently with Spotify giving $100 million to Joe Rogan. Guy's not even a musician. They don't give a crap about music. It's like MTV. They build it on the backs of musicians, and then once they get to what they want, and then they go off and do their own thing. Oh, well, we're not going to do music anymore. MTV is not going to do music anymore to help promote artists and musicians and give them a platform to have their videos being played. No, we're going to instead do My Teenage Pregnancy or whatever the hell they got on now. And those are all run by liberals. Those are all run by Democrats, people. Don't you get it? The Spotify, they're paying you 0.0001 or whatever it is per play, per stream. But they have enough money to give Joe Rogan $100 million, and they have enough money to give, I don't know, how many millions of dollars to Black Lives Matter and different liberal-run associations and propagandist machines. They're all using your talent. They have your music on their platforms. They're monetizing you to make them wealthy. Didn't you get it? There's no fairness. There's no There's no equal in any of it. It's like they sell your ads for how, I have no idea how much they sell an ad for, but if your song is playing and then there's an ad there, you should get a majority of that revenue, because it's your music that's drawing the people to see the ad to begin with. It's not the platform. It's like grocery stores. The grocery stores used to be, of course, now with Amazon, it's a little different deal now, unfortunately, and that's where it's all going. If you can't see it, see the trees through the forest, or get back and see that there's a forest and not just one tree. But it used to be at grocery stores, because they're on such small margins, they weren't making big margins off of each product that was there. They were only making a couple percent. Let's say maybe they make 5%, 10%, 20%, whatever it is, over the whole cost, right? But they're also a place where people would go and they would buy a cart full of stuff. They're not buying one item. And that's how all these different platforms are supposed to make their money. A little bit here and there. They're the ones that should be getting the 0.001%, not the frickin' artists. So I commend him for doing that. And I hope that my buddy here, Tony, realizes it too. I don't know. We never ever sat down and discussed politics. But I'm telling you, it kind of really ticks me off, because I've known this guy for so long, and he's such a great guy, and he's a hardworking dude, and he gave something to musicians that they don't know what they lost, but now it's gone. And I'm hoping that you figured out what you lost. And I hope that you can open your eyes and see the system, how it's failing you, how it's using you, how it's making you a slave for their benefit, for them to be the ones to make all the money. And you're screwed. This guy's probably lost millions of dollars. I don't think he wasn't in it for making, a crap ton of money. And I will forward you this article with Tony here. Somebody told me about this just the other day, and I go, really? Tony's out of business? And he just went from having a small little location, which he had for years. He'd have major bands in there. Like I said, he probably had a lot of the members and tons of punk rock bands. That was his big thing, was punk rock. And but he used to have a small bar, dive bar. That's what he had. And then the place down the street, which used to be Jimmy Z's, she went out of business. It was a lady that owned that. She actually wasn't called Jimmy Z's under her. It was called something else. But it was Jimmy Z's for so many years that everybody called it Jimmy Z's, even when she bought it and changed the name, right? So she goes out of business. I think she was there for, I don't know how many years. My coffee shop was actually right across the street, so I knew all these guys. She goes out of business. It's an empty building, but a cool venue, a cool stage, And he goes and he spends tens of thousands of dollars to clean it up, get it worthy again, make it to where it was somewhat inviting of a location, right? I think he's been going on since he bought it, maybe 5 years, if that. And now he's screwed. He should have just stayed to be in a dive bar. He might have been able to get through this mess. But he then, instead of just, seeing the music industry totally die, he decided, hey, I'm going to go invest some money and buy the other location. And he actually had 2 locations. Then he actually gave up his location. I think there's some stupid Japanese restaurant in there or something like that. So he went all in, man. This guy went all in. He wasn't making a shit ton of money off of bands. He was doing it right, in a sense, right? And I know he didn't pay his bands to come in there a lot of money. He did pay some of the bands to come in, and he did bring in not A game bands, but B and C, that kind of thing. Guys that were up and coming, or guys that were on the down low. But as I stated in some of my other videos, I worked with a lot of bands that were on the down low, but it's the way music swings. It's a pendulum, Sometimes you're up, then you're on the down low, then you come back up. But these guys with these places, they can't pendulum. It didn't work like that for them, right? They've lost a lot of momentum right now. They're just swinging on the down low. They're going to be screwed. And ultimately, and in the end, you as a musician are screwed. And the Democrats and the weak-ass Republican rhino Republicans, Republicans in name only, if you don't know what that phrase means, are the reason why you as musicians, why you're in the mess you're in. You get it? And so I know why he's saying this about Trump, because that's all there is. I even wrote a blog a long time ago. I said Trump will make music great again, because I was hoping, almost 4 years ago now, I was hoping that bands that were libtards and had their heads up the Democrat Party's butt, that they would be ticked off at Trump and they would go write protest songs or something. Nobody. Not even Rage Against the Machine came out and made a new album. None of them. It's so amazing to me. I just don't get it. But I do get it, I never signed to a record label. Because first of all, I never had the big pull power. So my record deals that came across my desk weren't the huge deals. And the one that I did get that was pretty good deal, it had its own little caveats to it of other areas they wanted to own me in. And I was like, no way. It wasn't 360 deals back then, but there were other kind of things too. And I watched too many of my buddies, musician buddies, like Goldie McJohn of Steppenwolf. He got written out of all the future sales of CDs back in the day because he was so stoned when he signed a piece of paper. But anyways, so I always looked at stuff. I've done videos, reaction videos, and talking and sharing about some of the artists that I worked with, and some of the guys that gave me some of the best advice that anybody could possibly get. However, a lot of that advice was, don't do it. Don't sign with these guys. Don't, because they won't give you jack. And it's like all these artists out there, I don't know how they're making any money. Don't know how they're making any money. Because the Spotify and places like that, people like that, don't give you a dime. And then you have to split all that money with your musician friends, your management, your legal team, your producers, any money that you need to do promotions get taken out of that. I mean, it's just, it's like a penny. They don't even give you a penny. They give you 1/10 of a penny. And then you have to take that 1/10 of a penny and cut that into tenths, if not more, depending on how many people wrote the song and all these different kinds of things. It really, 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 really is hard for musicians to make it. That's why there are a few that have done their own thing. Unfortunately, even with the artists that have done their own thing, I can tell you this. Most of them are doing rap crap music, which is all drum beat BS crap, and they're all selling themselves out. They're either going, they have to dress like whores and strippers, right? Or they're totally gangbangers, which most of them are just, that's all they are, is wannabe gangbangers, right? Or they're a bunch of frickin' LGBTQ queers licking the frickin' pole of the dancing pole of sin. Oh, I'm going to sell myself out. It's kind of like when you lick a pole in wintertime. Now they're stuck. Oh, I'm going to get behind this group. So, I knew other artists that have done that in the past. They got in association with they couldn't come out and say that they were Christian people, Christian band believers. That's what I am. I'm a Christian dude. I am. I know I have a foul mouth, but that's just the way it is. Get over it. But the thing is that I do faith-based music. I'm the only guy doing what I do. I'm the only guy doing what I do, right? But I also don't, never got associated with a church or an organization, you know, like another guy I know, he's mainly supported by the Mormons. So that's what he did. He licked the Mormon pole, and now he can't get his tongue off of it. Not to say the Mormons are bad. I don't have a problem with anybody, really. But the thing is it's like, I don't know. Music is so difficult. And here's one thing. I'm going to end it with this. Do you know the greatest people that have changed the world have all been artists? The ones who started the revolutions that changed things for the better were always the poets, which were the musicians of the day, the lyricists, right? The poets, the artists, the musicians. Those are the ones who changed things and made things better for a time. And then the libtards come back in and they suck all your artistic talent out of you for their own coffers. You know, that's what they do. The non-talented people that have no skill or whatsoever, can't do jack diddly squat, are the ones that are usually the lawyers and managers that suck you dry for money and everything. And then you get to the position, like an artist, like a musician, where it's like there's no inspiration. And we all know that we thrive on inspiration. When we get a notion, right, we write. That's how we work. If you're truly a true musician, that's how you work, right? You do have to kind of sometimes sit in there and force yourself to write something. But from that comes other things usually. Anyways, for these other people, these libtards, all these things, right? They don't have that. They don't have what we have. That's why they want to control everything that we do. But you have to wake up as a musician. Get your eyes open. Stop worrying about what he says, what old Johnny Rotten says, right? I like Johnny Rotten. Good for him. You know? So, there you go. It's Malachi signing out. Oh, The Artist One, theartistone.com. And I don't know if I'll put this on both my channels or a couple of my channels. But anyways, hug your kids, call your parents, go see your neighbor, repent and be baptized. And then go to theartistone.com, support the music. All my stuff is free. So it's, I choose to do things. I choose to give my stuff away for free. You know, so that's my choice. I'm not bound by no contract or nobody to do anything. I do things because I want to. I'm lucky, and then at the same side, I'm unlucky because I have to do everything myself. Anyways, signing out. See ya.
My people are slaves. 430 years have gone. Still they sing to carry on the ways that made them slave. My people are slaves. I sent Moses to free the land, to take them from Pharaoh's hand, but they run right back as slaves. My people are slaves. I bring them freedom they don't understand. They need laws to comprehend, to make them back as slaves. slaves. They don't understand the love I give, the freedom that comes